It's good to have you join us on AD4TV Radio News Update, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's federal capital. I am Merciful Ajinomo. The Executive Secretary of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, Professor Suleiman Elias Bogoro, has revealed that the organization has supported a number of Nigerian universities to produce prototype ventilators for the treatment of coronavirus patients with severe symptoms. Bogoro said this in an interview on Channels Television this Wednesday, adding that the ventilators were awaiting the necessary certification protocols before being put to use.
We have some of the best of experts in this area, as it were, in this country. Perhaps the research space just need appropriate fortification of research facilities. But I'm very sure that the experts are actually there in our university. As I talk, a number of PPEs, as well as some of the medical palliatives, and even ventilators, prototype ventilators, are being produced in a number of universities. It will take the protocol of certification, and we are hoping that as we talk, a number of universities, researchers have initiated the process of working towards securing a vaccine.
Responding to questions about steps taken to prevent diversion of research intervention funds by beneficiaries, the TED Fund boss said it has set strict guidelines which are extremely difficult to breach.
We are hoping that within the same period of expectations for a vaccine, our Nigerian scientists can get something done to help. Granted the advantage that we have in Africa, both in terms of immunity level, but more profoundly, what we've been doing in TED Fund, let me say this, the interventions that we're doing for research, we are very happy with the outcomes. And unfortunately, we have had cases of infractions in some of our interventions. But let me say this, that we don't have a major listed cases, as it were, of infractions in terms of research grants. We've had infraction in other areas of intervention. So I am very confident that whereas we have had challenges of, in some cases, funds being diverted, but not in respect of research, to the best of my knowledge and documentations that we have in TED Fund, I am confident that if research grants are received, like the one that we are administering, National Research Fund at TED Fund, our guidelines are so strict, it is pretty difficult for anybody to carelessly and cheaply divert funds meant for research.
He expressed optimism that with the contribution of Nigerian research scientists, a vaccine for COVID-19 may be found soon, and the only way to get an antidote for the virus is through research, a problem-solving approach he has always championed. In another development, Kaduna State, Nigeria this Thursday converted a National Youth Service Corps orientation camp along the Abuja-Kaduna Highway into a quarantine center. The Deputy Governor of the state, Hadiza Balarabe, while confirming the conversation, explained that the facility would be used to quarantine travelers coming to the state during the lockdown as part of measures to contain further spread of coronavirus. The Deputy Governor also warned unauthorized persons coming into Kaduna during the lockdown to either turn back or be ready for a 14-day quarantine at the NYSC camp to ascertain their COVID-19 status. She added that similar quarantine facilities have been set up at all 17 entry points into Kaduna State, targeting interstate transmission of the virus. A group of angry youths set ablaze a Chinese company in Ibese area, Ogun State, for allegedly locking its workers inside the facility despite the stay-at-home order of the federal government due to the outbreak of COVID-19 in the country. The angry workers of the company could be seen protesting inside the Chinese factory in a video that has gone viral on the internet. Chinese officials and the security operatives attached to the company are reported to have fled the scene as the youth vandalized the company. The Director Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention this Thursday said the organization plans to distribute 1 million COVID-19 test kits from next week to help the continent tackle a glaring shortfall in testing. Nkenga Song, while speaking at the weekly press conference at the African Union headquarters in Addis Ababa, added that there is a big gap on the continent on testing and something has to be done. The COVID-19 virus so far has infected more than 2.06 million people globally, according to Johns Hopkins University. The university's data also reveals that the virus has killed up to 137,000 people worldwide. On the foreign scene, the United States government this Thursday reported that over 5 million more people sought unemployment benefits last week, bringing the total number of people seeking aid as a result of job loss to about 22 million since the coronavirus pandemic began. According to economists, the unemployment rate could reach as high as 20% in April, which would be the highest rate since the Great Depression of the 1930s. This is largely due to the closure of non-essential businesses in almost every state in the country, which has led to huge job losses in nearly every industry. Daniel Zhao, a senior economist at Glassdoor, said this crisis combines the scale of a national economic downturn with the pace of a natural disaster, which is unprecedented in American economic history. You're watching AD4 TV Radio News Update, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's federal capital. We'll go on a short break now. More stories when we return. Do stay.
Coronavirus, they really make you do what you fit today, can't wait. Now the cocoa thing when you owe yourself be that, because it's better to survive than for water to run your eyes. Oya waka boom boom, begin the use hand sanitizer, special mask, and not green for body at all for anywhere, especially where people boku. Clear road, arrange yourself, keep social distance and practice good hygiene for house and surroundings. Do what the government tell you, sit down for house and make it for no loss. Coronavirus dey, so make we gree together, waka fight like a kozuna.
I'm appeal to Nigerians is that please, let's obey the social distancing. Let us obey the personal hygiene. Wash your hands. Don't go into congregation, and within 2 weeks, you go back and resume your normal life. If we don't do the right thing, we are going to face a disaster that we will not be able to handle.
This message now from the news agency of Nigeria, NAN. They can't pay.
You're welcome back. The Switzerland government this Thursday said it will gradually relax the coronavirus restrictions on the country from April 27, though the country's death toll from the respiratory disease has risen past 1,000 with nearly 27,000 confirmed infections. From ending April, hospitals will be allowed to perform all procedures, even elective surgeries, while hair salons, massage parlors and cosmetic studios will be allowed to reopen. At a third stage, it will reopen secondary schools, vocational schools and universities from June 8. The government also anticipates the relaxation of an existing ban on meetings of more than 5 people, although details of this stage will be announced by the end of May. French armed forces confirmed that at least 668 sailors and aircrew from the European country's flagship aircraft carrier, the Charles de Gaulle, have tested positive to coronavirus. Of those infected, 31 are in hospital, with 1 in intensive care. The number of those infected is likely to rise further since not all test results have returned. An armed forces ministry spokesman in Paris explained that there will be more infected people because around 30% of test results are still not known. However, a disinfection process is currently ongoing and a skeletal crew remains on board to safeguard the warship's nuclear reactor. Meanwhile, late environmental activist Ken Saro-Wiwa's son Minijen has died of coronavirus in Britain. No Saro-Wiwa, a sister of the deceased, made this known this Thursday, adding that her brother had underlying health conditions before contracting the virus. According to Nigerians in the Diaspora Commission, over a dozen Nigerians have died of coronavirus in the United States and the UK. In a bid to counter the spread of false information on COVID-19, Facebook will begin to show alerts to people who have previously interacted with misinformation on the disease. Facebook's chief executive, Mark Zuckerberg, said the alert would also cover misinformation related to COVID-19 that has since been removed, adding that the messages will appear as alert on any user's newsfeed who has liked, reacted or commented on harmful misinformation about the virus. The company noted that an alert neither directly refutes any claims nor tells the user which piece of misinformation they have seen, but instead suggests they help friends and family avoid false information by sharing a link to a list of common rumors compiled by the World Health Organization.
Coronavirus, they really make you do wetin you fit today, can't pay. Now the cocoa thing when you owe yourself be that because it's better to survive than for water to run your eyes. Oya waka boom boom begin the use hand sanitizer, special mask, and not gree for body at all for anywhere, especially where people boku. Clear road, arrange yourself, keep social distance and practice good hygiene for house and surroundings. Do wetin government tell you, sit down for house and make it for no loss. Coronavirus dey o, so make we gree together, waka fight am like a kozuna.
I'm appeal to Nigerians is that please let's obey the social distancing. Let us obey the personal hygiene. Wash your hands. Don't go into congregation, and within 2 weeks, you go back and resume your normal life. If we don't do the right thing, we are going to face a disaster that we will not be able to handle.
This message now from the news agents of Nigeria, NAN, they can pay.
And in sports, Arsenal's executive team this Wednesday agreed to cut more than a third of their salaries as the club warns that it is facing one of the most challenging periods in its history of football. The English Premier League has been suspended indefinitely due to strict government guidelines to control the spread of coronavirus. Arsenal posted a £27 million loss for the 2018-2019 season and are on course to lose far more this year due to the shutdown. An inability to complete the season could cost Premier League clubs an estimated £1 billion. The Union of European Football Associations next Thursday will hold an executive committee meeting through video conference to deliberate on ways of restarting the season in the midst of the coronavirus crisis. However, before the executive committee meeting, the heads of each of UEFA's 55 member associations will come together to look at developments across both domestic and continental competitions. That's it on AD4TV Radio News Update, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's federal capital. You can join the conversation on our social media platforms at AD4TV Radio on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and Instagram. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at AD4TV Radio. Many thanks for watching. I am Merciful Ajinomo.